In our previous videos of the Miata, you watched us install some Brom seats that I fabricated all the brackets from scratch. But now that those are installed and they're out of the way, it's time for phase 2. Welcome to Project Miata.
Alright guys, we're back with another video, and now it's finally time to put the turbo in the Miata. It's cold here in Florida. If you guys are watching from up north, you're gonna laugh at us, but this is cold for us. 64 degrees, 63 when I touched it. So I'll probably tackle the front bumper because we got to mount the front intercooler on here. We have the piping, we have the oil cooler, we have the catch can. There's so many things that we have to install to make sure that this engine doesn't blow up.
Yeah, I literally got everything. Injectors, fuel pump, AFR gauges, boost gauge, oil pressure gauge. We got literally everything that we need to start this build and to finish it as well.
If you're new to the channel, you're just finding us, subscribe to Pro Builds or Gallo 12 or 24.
Yes.
And wait, I got a surprise. I got a surprise for this guy. He doesn't know it.
Oh, yeah.
Damn. The official merch hat. Put it on right now. Check that out. So I have a bunch of merch out there. Check me out. If you want to support us, get the merch. Look at the hat. It's stitched. It looks sick.
This looks good, dude. This looks really good.
Check us out. Support us if you want. If you want to dislike us, there you go. All right, so one thing that we are noticing, because we are working on the Z, we're working on the G, and all the VQs, man, there's no room in there. Look at this. Look how much space there is. I could actually touch the exhaust here. This is insane.
You could literally climb in here and like do whatever you need to do. It's crazy. It's so much more space.
For short, small people like us, we could just crawl in there and have no problem. So yeah, this is nuts. It should be very, very straightforward in what we're about to do.
Yes. Very
easy to install. So, all right guys, so I am going right here to my toolbox and I have gathered all the 10 mils because with this guy working on the car, he's gonna lose them all, and I'm gonna just stick them right in my pocket. And I'm gonna keep them here for safekeeping because who knows what the heck is gonna happen. What are you doing?
Not a problem.
Bro, what just happened?
I don't know, bro.
You just got started. This is the first bolt. You already got it stuck? The heck?
It's alright, I'm a master mechanic. Here we go.
So as you can see, there's never a dull moment here at Pro Builds. So I tackled the bumper and I started to remove everything, and Chris managed to start to break loose the exhaust manifold bolts.
All right, so far we have removed the front bumper. It is off. Chris is working on the header still. Chris, looks like you're almost there.
Almost.
We put the front bumper on and look at this. Look how much better it looked compared to that one. It has changed, and if you look down there, look at this. You know what this is from? This is from our last build, from the engine that had a rod knock on the G37, so it's holding up the bumper right now. This is gonna be a little bit of custom work that I'm gonna have to do. It doesn't fit well around here, but it's okay. I'm gonna be able to just make this work. I'm gonna cut grooves into here, and then I'm gonna massage it into place. And if you guys seen what I did to the G37, you know I'm gonna make this one look just as sick. So maybe some custom canards. What do you think?
Honestly, I think it needs custom canards and maybe another splitter that goes from the bottom.
A splitter in the bottom? Yeah, I can make that happen. So tune in for that. I just wanted to put this on here to see how it's gonna look. We're taking off this whole intake filter, and the headers are pretty much loose already. So we're almost there. Remove that out of the way. He's getting it. Now we can get to the headers. All right guys, so we have ran into a little bit of complications. We can't get the headers off. We either have to raise up the car super high and fish it through the back, or we're gonna have to remove the steering shaft. All right, so it is banging up against the steering shaft. And these headers go, it's like one piece all the way to the back. All right guys, this is always a good idea. I have marked the shaft so we know exactly where it goes, because if you disconnect that and your steering wheel goes left or right, it's not gonna line up. All right guys, here's an update. We just discovered something very scary, very, very, very sketchy. when my man purchased a car, it came with coilovers, it came with headers, it came with exhaust, it came with a bunch of things, okay? Someone's been here before, so of course, he's probably what, the fourth, fifth owner?
Probably the fourth owner.
I don't know. So someone's been in here, so they installed the headers, and I discovered in the steering shaft, the knuckle, it's missing a bolt. He's been driving this whole time with a bolt missing. Let me try to show you. Okay, I'm gonna try to zoom in on here and hopefully this focuses. Okay, so way down there, there's another bolt on the knuckle on the other end. Leave the light right there, it's perfect. That bolt was missing. And look, I was able to hit it from the bottom and the shaft has just come loose. So, yeah, this is what I always tell my boys. You don't know who's been in there, who's messed with any of these cars when they get modified or whatever. Obviously, they forgot to put that bolt in. This, dude, I mean.
And it's mind-blowing right now because, I'm not gonna lie, I get in it and I get on the corners and I turn and I do things with this car.
Yes.
Without this bolt. I've gotten so lucky. So many people that have driven this have gotten so lucky. This is crazy, guys.
This is nuts. Think about all the drifting you've done.
Yeah.
Counter steering.
I know.
Damn. It's been missing this whole time. This is nuts. This is nuts. Someone's gonna comment and they're gonna say, well, it's slotted, it goes into grooves. Dude, the bolt was missing. The clamp could have just opened up and it could have slipped. Just like that.
Definitely a scary situation, and you can tell we're shooken up by this. And just like I mentioned before, when you purchase a modified vehicle, you have no idea what they have done, and you just hope everything works.
Alright guys, so I've removed it so we could further inspect this situation here and analyze what the frick was going on. What I was saying earlier was I've removed this bolt right here to try to break this loose so we could get the headers off. And this one right here in the front I noticed was missing a bolt. So this one has been loose this whole time and we've been driving this Miata without the bolt missing there, which is insane. Of course, we got the headers off. As soon as we removed this, everything just kind of fell out and we were able to remove it, but this is insane. Hey, 20 bucks says that when you go down the street now, your steering wheel is going to be crooked. All right, guys, this is what we have so far. So far, we have the turbo mounted here. Nothing is set in stone yet, but we have clocked the turbo. So basically what we have done is we loosened all of these bolts right here, and then we twisted it. We wanted to make sure the turbo was gonna be exactly where we needed it to be, you know? Originally, turbo was angled in this direction. We clocked it and we put it in this direction, and we are concentrating and making sure that the oil feed lines and the drain, the feed line goes in through here and the drain goes straight down. So that's very important. You should be doing that as well. If you're doing one of these kits or any turbo, you gotta make sure that the lines are going in the right direction. So what I mean by that is this housing could bring the lines, once you hook up the turbo to your vehicle, the lines could be sitting in a diagonal and the oil won't drain and flow properly. You always want it to go in through the top and go down through the bottom. So that's what we've done. And I also have drilled right here into the side right here, okay? I didn't go into the frame rail. I figured this is the best spot. We still have a piece for the blow-off valve. The kit did not come with this piece. We have a piece coming on the way. The blow-off valve goes here. Of course, that goes into the throttle body. And another thing that we had to order was the sleeve. It did not come with the proper sleeve. So we ordered a 2-inch to 2.5 elbow. It's a reducer because it came only with 2 of these 90s, and basically that's how it was gonna sit. Even if you put a clamp on it, that's gonna leak. So we ordered one of these, okay? So right now, I am working on this side. We're gonna work our way this way. I'm getting ready to trim this piece of pipe. Basically, it's gonna come something like that. I'm gonna trim this guy right here, but I picked up a new tool. Let me show you. So check out this bad boy. I'm gonna put a link in the description in case anybody needs this, okay? So this tool, what it allows you to do is, once I cut and trim that pipe, I am able to make a groove. I'm able to make this bevel, this bead right here. So basically, if I was to cut this and not put a lip on it, the sleeves would just slide off. And I don't want it to do that. Then of course you have a boost leak and then you have a problem. So what this allows you to do is cut them, put a lip on it, put a bead on it, then you're able to trim down the pipe to the right length.
So I also decided to clean up the hole where the pipe goes into with my die grinder, and it really does very quick work of what I needed to do. And then I proceeded to custom cut the pipe and roll the bead on, and you can see me doing exactly that here. And here are my thoughts.
Okay, so I was able to do it to the very first one. You can see I put a lip on this right now, and that's gonna sit right in there. My thoughts with this is, I wish this intercooler piping, I wish the piping was not powder coated. I wish it didn't have any of this paint, because all of it's gonna flake off once I start to roll this bead over it. You can see it started to chip, but the functionality of the pipe, it's good. But overall, it's a success because I'm able to do that. So now we are plumbed coming down in below the chassis, below the frame rails, and now I get to mount the intercooler and connect everything, so everything could be one piece. So we could charge the intake. All right guys, so we have another day and another challenge. Right now, what I'm trying to do is, well, I am mounting this intercooler. I have it holding up there with some zip ties, and I'm gonna make a bracket. I'm gonna make a bracket so I can hold it in here. I have some aluminum here. I wasn't sure which size aluminum I was gonna need, so I got two different sizes from Lowe's, and now it's time to fabricate some stuff. So basically, of course, it's gonna come from the turbocharger. It's gonna go down this way, loop into the intercooler, pop back up, and go into the intake manifold. So right now I'm just gonna write down some dimensions, make that bracket, and mount the intercooler so we can continue the piping.
And if you know me personally, you know that this is my favorite thing to do, is to fabricate. It's just to make something from scratch and make it work. So I am having a blast here because I really enjoy it.
Okay, so here we are. We have our first bracket, and this bad boy is gonna sit right in here, just like that. So I'm gonna put two rivets here, and it's gonna mount to this front support bar, this cross member right here, and then it bolts onto the top of that intercooler. So now I have to duplicate this, make the same exact thing for the other side. I have test fitted it, and let me show you. So it fits right in there, perfect, and we're just gonna have to make another one. So far it's coming along pretty good. I'm not gonna jinx it. I'm gonna shut my mouth and get to work. And just like that, we have two of them. We have one for the right side and one for the left side. I figured this is a good time in this video to announce today's sponsor. Today's sponsor, it's me. So if you like what you're seeing so far, subscribe so you could keep seeing some more. Now, back to the build. All right, so let's check this out. So we have the turbo forcing the air this way, and it's gonna go right in through here. When installing one of these kits, the hardest thing is gonna always be trying to make everything fit correctly and making sure you have enough clearance. So what I have done right now is I turned the steering wheel all the way to the right. So it is completely turned, and I'm trying to make sure that I have space between the piping and the tire, that it's not gonna interfere, that nothing's gonna be rubbing and crashing. So this pipe, it's gonna sit a little bit like this. I still have to trim it, and then it connects right into the intercooler, and then it goes over to the other side. So I'm gonna go ahead and make some marks and go to town on this.
So of course I did some markings, and it was time to cut some more and fabricate some more. So I started to trim the pipe down to exactly the length I needed. And here you can see me sanding everything down, making sure everything's nice and straight. And then before I knew it, it was time to roll the bead. But I ran into a situation here, something I didn't anticipate, and it's simply because this was the first time me using this machine. And here in the next clip, I'll show you exactly what happened.
Okay, so we're here in the passenger side, and let's check out a little bit of the progress. So even though it looks like I'm connected correctly, I am gonna order a 45-degree elbow here because this isn't sitting correctly. You see how it comes in this angle? So it really should have a 45, so we're gonna order a 45. And for the other side, so this side got a little bit more complicated because I cut myself this piece of pipe right here, and I went to put a bead on it, and that's because this is the right size that I needed to connect to the intercooler right here. So this was the correct length, and this is what I ended up with. I cannot use it. I cannot roll a bead on it. It keeps jumping off every time I try to roll it on the bottom side, and that's because this pipe, of course, isn't straight. The bead roller wants to keep going straight, and it wants to jump off because this is bent, this is curved, and it doesn't like it. It's not doing what it's supposed to. If it was straight, it would do something like that, but it's not working correctly. So we decided to go with 2 elbows, 2 90s, one down here to come across and one to go into this guy. And I think that's going to be a lot easier, and of course we don't have that, so we have to order it. So here is a breakdown of pretty much what's going on. When they send you this kit comes with 2 20s, 2 45s, 2 straight pipes, and 2 90-degree elbows, these hard pipes. It only came with 2 of these rubber 90s and a bunch of these straight couplers. Now, depending on where you drill your hose, you can make those pipes work for you. Sure, I have seen people route these in the internet, but I am not a fan in how they have done it. So I was trying to aim for the cleanest installation as possible. That's why I have chosen these locations where I have drilled. I was making sure I wasn't gonna interfere with the frame rails. I have seen people cut into this brace right here. I've seen all sorts of stuff on the internet. So I was trying to keep away from all of that craziness and trying to work with what you can, like what came in the kit. But the kit isn't really designed for the Miata. It does come with an exhaust manifold for the turbo, but this is really just a universal intercooler with some piping. So at the end of the day, if you purchase one of these kits, you're gonna end up having to buy something. And I've seen a bunch of the guys on the internet, they have a bunch of different elbows and a bunch of different fittings that don't even come in the kit. And I suspect that that's what's happened. Once they try to assemble everything, it doesn't fit and they have to buy more things. So keep that in mind if you ever purchase one of these kits. So the next time you guys see a video upload, more than likely we'll have this intercooler piping ran, and we'll be working on the oil lines, the return and the feed for the turbo. With all that being said, I really don't have much more to do on this thing until the parts get here. So I will see you in the next one.